going on, YouTube? My name is Pablo and I'm a car addict. Thank you for joining me on this drive. This is my first drive where I'm talking, so not really sure what to say, but thank you for joining me on this drive, and I hope you enjoy it. This is a morning 9:30 a.m. drive through Long Island City, Queens into more of Queens. So I'm hoping to get some good road shots. Hoping to not get too many bumps and potholes, but that's kind of hard when you're driving in the city. For any of you guys that live in the city or live in a city that just have bad roads, you know what I'm talking about. Luckily, I have an SUV now, so I don't have to worry about it too much. But driving on a low-profile car, low-profile wheels is definitely a journey every day. But a little bit about the car. It's a 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. I do have some modifications to it. I've done a lot of naturally aspirated mods. I did cold air intake. I did a chip tune, headers, Cook's headers to Cook's mid pipes to a Borla exhaust. I am looking into doing a stroker kit, so that might be coming down the pipeline in terms of videos and content and just that whole journey. I do have to convince my wife, obviously, it's a big expense and it's just a toy, but makes me happy. And anyway, it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT 2020. Absolutely love this car. This is my first sports SUV that I've ever owned. I've owned in the past only stick shift cars. My car previous to this one was a 2003 M5, the E39 body style, 6-speed, amazing bulletproof car. I sold it at a time where I got good money for it. Do I regret it? I think I do. I tried to find the closest car in setup, that I could, and also a car that was not too showy, let's say, not too, like, not a Beamer, not a Benz, not like, something that would be, very showy, especially during the pandemic time. So I got this and I love it. I love it. Anybody watching this video, I hope to give you a good experience of what it's like to drive a Jeep SRT. It's a lot of fun. It's got a big 6.4 liter motor, V8. Stock, it sounds amazing. With all the mods I did, it sounds even better. Not to say that anything is wrong with it in stock form, because it's not. It's an amazing car. And it handles, it brakes well, it accelerates well. I've always liked a naturally aspirated motor. I don't love boosted cars. I mean, obviously they're super fast. Everything on the market now, let's say close to this category, is has either a supercharger or like a turbocharger. And definitely not trying to bash those cars, because they're amazing in themselves. But there's just something, for me at least, there's something about a naturally aspirated motor that just can't be replaced. Just the feel, the torque, the noise. Ironically, I'm driving in front of a Tesla right now, which is electric, and we're all going electric, and I just feel like these naturally aspirated motors are just, they're a dying breed. So I'm like, what, let me get something that I know I'm gonna love. I know I'm gonna love to drive. I really took the risk and did not test drive this car whatsoever before buying it. And I was weary of, whether or not I was gonna like it or how I was gonna drive, and et cetera, especially having come from an M5, because those are just really amazing cars. But don't regret the decision at all. It's an amazing car. You know, anybody that's on the fence about buying one, whether it's new or used, I definitely recommend it, especially if you're a car enthusiast or a car addict like myself. It's an amazing setup. It's a lot of fun. It's spacious. My wife is comfortable. You have the seat. You have a heated seat. You have a vented seat. You know, you can hook up your phones to hear, you know, the whole nine. You know, the gas mileage is not great. On a regular city drive, I'll get between 10 and 12 miles per gallon, depending how I'm driving it. On a really bad day, I'll get between 8 and 9 miles per gallon. Obviously, when I'm driving it hard or in sport mode. You know what? Let's put it in sport mode. All right. And I'll put the traction control off as well. Hoping to get some clear road up here. I mean, it's kind of hard at this time in the city, but I do take a little stretch of the highway up past that light over there, so I'm hoping to get some nice pulls in and some nice driving in. But anyway, back to the gas mileage. Yeah, it doesn't have great gas mileage, but you know, it's worth it. It's worth the fun. It's worth the fun that you get from these cars. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's on road trips. You know, we go to upstate New York a lot, and on these road trips I'll get, like, let's say 15 to 16 miles per gallon, but on eco mode I can't drive it regular and get that gas mileage. Yeah, you know, a big question always, I think, in this SRT niche, let's say, is like, you know, if you want a Jeep SRT, do you just get the SRT, or do you save up and get a Trackhawk? That's a tough decision. I was kind of against the fence as well, but I didn't want to splurge $100,000 on a Trackhawk. That's just me. I figured, you know, let me spend a little bit less, get a full motor. There's a black Trackhawk around this neighborhood that drives around, and it's just, he definitely has some work done to it, and it just sounds ridiculous. I think if you can afford it, absolutely go for the Trackhawk. It's pretty much the same car, just with a, you know, supercharger. I think it has the 6.2 liter motor actually, so it might not be exactly the same motor, but pretty much it's a big SRT motor, and with a supercharger on it. So I mean, that car is just absolutely ridiculous. I like the drivability of the SRT, and you know, the fact that I can modify it with, you know, naturally aspirated mods and still be able to drive it every day without worrying about, you know, blowing a pulley or a hose or a this or a that. It's just really comfortable to drive. And I just have to be cautious because this area here is always a little bit of an S show in terms of people yielding and this and that. Maybe I contribute to this shit show, who knows? This little curve up here is nice when there's no cars, and it leads onto a nice on-ramp or on-lane over here, which I'm hoping to get, but doesn't really seem like I'm going to be able to. So what else? Yeah, I mean, comment down below, you know, what your favorite cars have been to drive. There we go. Comment down below which have been your favorite cars to drive in your history, which cars you regret selling. I know we all regret selling some cars that were near and dear to us. For whatever circumstances we had to sell them. You know, I personally regret selling my E39 M5. I don't see myself selling this car anytime soon. I regret selling my first generation Volkswagen R32. Actually, better said, I regret doing all of the mods that I did to it because I just ruined the car. I tried to turbocharge it. It never ran right. The boost, never hit right. It was always a mess. So I kind of had to sell it. So I regret modding it as much, and that's been a lesson that I've learned to appreciate a car for its natural sense, and yes, modify it, but don't really strip its essence, because it never runs right. It wasn't meant to run that way from the factory, so it almost always doesn't run perfectly. And I don't like to have my cars in the shop all the time. Like, I want to be able to get in, drive it, take a road trip, drive to work, do what I have to do. Just checking the camera here, making sure that it's running, because it cut off last time I was on the highway. All right, seems like it's going. But yeah, this is a drive through the city. Not much action, and I can't be driving like a maniac on the streets, especially over here on Queens Boulevard, because there's speeding cameras like literally every 2 or 3 blocks. Luckily, on the service road that I take up here, it's not too many cameras, so too many cameras or too many speeding situations, so I can get a little bit of acceleration. And the drive on a Saturday is really nice because everybody's asleep still at this time when I come to work, so I don't get as much traffic. I can really enjoy my drive and probably get to work in like 10 minutes. It's crazy. Shouldn't be driving like that, but when you have an SRT, it's kind of hard not to. So yeah, whoever's watching this video that doesn't have an SRT and is thinking about it, I mean, this is pretty much the setup. Speedometer, the whole 9. It's very comfortable. You have everything here. My seating position is absolutely comfortable. I can modify the seat however I want. The cabin noises, I love it. Some people might not want such a loud car. It doesn't sound loud to me inside. I know it sounds loud outside, but whatever. I put a cold start video at the beginning of this to show you guys how it sounds on a cold start with all the mods that I've done. It's very loud. I park in a big garage behind a courthouse, and I always have the lawyers making nasty faces at me for noise pollution. I think they want to give me a ticket, but they can't. So, kind of gets a chuckle out of me, but it is loud. It's not quiet. In stock form, it definitely cold starts quietly, has a little bit of a growl, but in stock form, you have to really get on it to, open up the throttle bodies and just make it sound, just kind of get the full sound from it. Yeah, so here we are, Queens Boulevard, always traffic. So really want to give you guys a good experience here. I will have another chance up when I turn off of the boulevard. I have a street that I can kind of hit it a little bit. Yeah, let's see. But yeah, if anybody's against the fence about getting one, I just say you take the jump. I know these cars are expensive, and cars are expensive right now. It may or may not be the right time to jump into a car or into a debt, but when you're a car addict, you always have the itch. You're always itching for the next car, or the perfect car, or just a car that you can enjoy and make everybody in the family happy with. I think I found that car for me, honestly. I always look at the competition of, like, let's say X5M or X6M or Porsche Cayenne, or the cool Mercedes, those, I don't know, GL. There's so many freaking configurations. GL something, the one that looks like a turtle. It kind of looks like the X6M. They're all super cool, but like, I just don't want to spend. Oh shit, what is this? Oh boy. I just don't want to spend, over $100,000 for an SUV or for a car in general. I just don't want to spend that. I'm kind of old school in that way. Like, I don't mind. Okay, let's see if this street, hold on. There we go. A little pull for you guys and for myself. Yeah, like, I don't mind getting older cars that I like with miles on them, and getting them, fixing them up, or not even souping them up, but just you know, giving it the once over maintenance that you want to give it. Like, you know, for example, one time I got a 1999 BMW M Coupe, the one with the clown shoe back, as they call it, and I got the car with like 125,000 miles. I mean, a lot of miles, but the guy maintained it properly, and the guy did a lot of good maintenance to it. But I got it, and it needed like transmission mounts, sway bar end links, it needed engine mounts, like little things. So my first round of maintenance, I did a bunch of things. I did all new oils. I did a bunch of things that it needed, you know, just to get it up to par. And the car ran 100%. So I feel like, you know, when people are scared to buy used cars because of problems that they may have, I mean, every car is going to have a problem. No car is going to be bulletproof. Even a Tesla, you know what I mean? Like, it has its problems, it has its bugs. But, you know, if you love the car, you take care of it. Kind of like your body, you know, you love your body, you take care of it. You know, it's a piece of machinery that brings us a lot of joy. And like, I don't mind getting an older car and you know, that I love. Like, I would get like a 1999 M3, or I would get like a 2005 M3, or another E39 M5, or, you know, a Challenger or a Charger, you know, SRT Hellcat or a Red Eye. And, you know, if it has a couple of miles on it, or you know, just whatever on it, then you take care of it. That's all it is. Anyway, all right, guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is where the driving ends, unfortunately. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day wherever you're viewing from, and I hope that I've given you good information and a good experience with the car, and that you'll join me again in the future for another video. All right, guys, take care.